and welcome. You're watching the Times of India. I'm Nalin Mehta. We are broadcasting straight from Lucknow today with the second phase of polling almost over and different political parties. Narendra Modi, he's been campaigning in Kannauj today. He's raised the political pitch again. With me here is Raja Bose, the resident editor of the Times of India in Lucknow, and we're going to be deciphering the big picture of UP and how this is a semi-final for 2019 and how it's looking at the at about 2/7 of the way. There are 7 phases, Raja.
Right.
Firstly, we already have some preliminary voting percentage numbers today. How many people have voted so far out of the total electorate in these uh, uh, in 15 districts or 11 districts of
11
voting today, right? In
districts.
67
Right.
seats.
Right.
So, what are the polling percentage numbers so far?
Till 3 p.m. it was around 58%.
Yeah.
And there is the likelihood of this going up a bit as the last phase of people come out. This is a good trend. It seems after almost 63% of polling in the first phase.
That was in phase one.
Phase one.
But in 2012, the overall voting percentage was about 58%. It
Right.
wasn't very high. That's when Samajwadi Party had swept the state.
Right.
So about 54% now. It will go up a little bit more.
Yes.
So it's not a very high vote share. Would that be worrying the BJP at this point a little bit, or I mean, it's all speculation. But if, as much as one can discern from this, what would your gut sense be?
BJP probably would not be very concerned about the voting percentage here, given that the second phase has a high percentage of Muslim voters, which has never been its vote bank. And I guess Samajwadi Party and Congress would be a little concerned and would hope that in the next 2 hours, more people come out and vote.
So if you're joining us now, we are in Lucknow. We are at in front of the Ambedkar Park, one of the great political milestones of this city, built in Mayawati's regime as part of her politics of outreach to Dalits and to Dalit leaders and to herself.
But I should interrupt you, Nalin, because I heard Mayawati speak just about an hour ago, and she made it very, very clear, and probably for the 5th or the 10th time now, that I am not going to make any more elephants, any more parks, any more memorials.
So no more statues from Mayawati. That's her pitch.
And a very, very new thing we heard from Mayawati today is talking about midday meals.
Right.
She said, I'm going to give quality food. I'm going to ensure that every kid gets a food. It's a very different pitch from Mayawati.
So there's something else that Mayawati has been saying, and this is important, that she, today's papers are full of this. She said at a rally yesterday that I'm ruling out a post-poll alliance with the BJP.
But
the fact that we've been here in Lucknow since yesterday, and a lot of people are talking about the possibility of this. If you have a hung house, possibly a BSP-BJP alliance might happen.
Which has happened before.
Which has happened before, twice before.
Yes.
In the early 2000s, twice. The issue is that the fact that Mayawati has issued this statement, does it show that she's getting worried because of this kind of speculation? A lot of the Muslim vote might decide not to go with Mayawati and go to SP instead. So does this statement show some kind of that she's worried about this kind of speculation?
I would see it in a different light. I would rather see it as Mayawati trying to consolidate what she has already got and what she has already managed to get her coming her way, rather than a sign of getting perturbed or worried.
So, Raja, Narendra Modi has been campaigning in Kannauj today.
Right.
And he has said something very interesting about Mulayam Singh Yadav and the SP Congress alliance. If you can tell our viewers about that.
Yes, it was a stunning comment. It left everybody stunned here, even the journalistic community. He raked up an issue in 1984 when Mulayam Singh Yadav was with the Lok Dal, and it was the ND Tiwari government, Congress government in UP then, and Mulayam was rabid in his anti-Congress stand, and he keeps talking about a gunshot, an attempt at him, and he keeps saying that Akhilesh us samay bachcha tha, mere upar attempt hua tha. And Narendra Modi picked it up, and he made it a point to tell the people there and a larger audience through television that Samajwadi Party under Akhilesh Yadav right now has joined hands with a party which actually made an attempt on his father's life.
So this is and what are the facts of this? Or we have a sense of the facts of this so far?
It was a time when Mulayam was very, very anti-Congress.
Right.
He's always been anti-Congress, but that was probably the peak. So it's raking up an issue which happened in '84. most of UP has forgotten about it. I guess the young voters would not even know about this.
So 25 lakh first-time voters in this UP
Right.
election.
Right, wouldn't even know about this
So
probably.
let me ask you a question here. There are many comments coming in as we speak. Surinder Duveri says SP and Congress is winning. Now that's his view, of course.
Right.
The question is, Raja, that the SP Congress alliance, to what extent that has helped bolster up Akhilesh Yadav's chances of making a comeback?
Well, there are two views in this. One, which Mulayam has been talking about, is that if a party which got a landslide majority in 2012, 229 seats, why does it need the crutch of a party which is number 4 in the state? That is one view. The other school of thought, which Akhilesh has been talking about, is that I would have got 200 plus on my own. With Congress with me, I'll get 300 plus.
Right.
So both are valid, both seem logical. And in election times, you don't know which way the wind blows. But certainly, Samajwadi Party has got a leg up with this alliance.
So the BJP in 2019 got about 42% of the vote share in UP.
Right.
If you translate that into assembly segments, it's 70 plus Lok Sabha seats out of 80.
Right.
That comes to about 328.
Right.
What are the BJP leaders telling you internally off the record right now? How much are they expecting in this election?
Well, they are expecting anywhere between 250 and 300.
That's what they're saying. Officially.
Yes, they're sounding very optimistic.
But what reports are you getting? I mean, what's the does that reflect the reality you're seeing on the ground?
Well, I would rather wait to answer this. I would rather wait to answer this after, say, 2 more phases. But since we are discussing this, let me tell you that our judgment and our reports from the ground say that no party probably would go beyond, say, 170. That would still leave them short of 33 seats to form the government. So nobody seems to be reaching the 200 mark yet.
Right.
And that leaves a scope wide open for president's rule in the state.
That's a possibility. We're talking about hypotheticals and possibilities.
It's a certain possibility which a lot of political parties are openly talking about.
Okay, that's the buzz here in Lucknow.
Right.
The Muslim vote, do you see that getting split across regions from Western UP to Central UP to Eastern UP between the SP Congress and BSP?
Studying the pattern in the 2 phases, one full phase on 11th and almost the second phase is almost over. It seems that there is a possibility of what you are hinting at. There are a lot of reasons for this. One is for Muslims, who do I go with this time? It's Samajwadi Party and Congress together, or BSP. That's a question. But when it comes to Samajwadi Party, they will also have this in mind that where is Mulayam Singh Yadav, the man who had ordered firing against car sevaks in '89? Where is he?
So the SP discord may be a problem.
Maybe.
I'll take one last question, Raja. Surinder Bajaj says, Yashwant Reddy says, will OBC support BJP in this phase? And Surinder Bajaj on that is commenting, OBC's antipathy to the BJP is obvious. Now this is an opinion, of course, of one of our viewers. But the question I want to ask to you is that the BJP has been looking to woo non-Yadav OBCs a great deal in UP.
Exactly.
It reflects in the candidates the BJP has chosen across UP. What is just like it is trying to woo non-Jatav Dalits. What is your sense about the success or the progress of this strategy?
That I would like to add something here, that we all know it's cliched that UP is a caste-ridden state, everything is dependent on caste. Well, it's not just the non-Yadav OBCs. I've heard BJP leaders and RSS talk about a division in Yadavs itself.
Right.
Mulayam belongs to a caste called Ghosi Yadav. The other Yadavs, who are not Ghosi Yadavs, even they might be gravitating towards BJP. So the caste gets deconstructed to subcaste and
sub-subcaste. A lot of social engineering experiments happening here.
And what we have heard is in the first phase, probably the non-Yadav OBCs did vote for the BJP, and that's a ground report. I don't know how far it is.
In phase 1, which was essentially Western UP, phase 2 today is these 11 districts which are voting today is another part of Western UP and Rohilkhand as well, which is voting. We have Central UP and Eastern UP to go in the other phases, as well as Bundelkhand. Central and Eastern UP is where SP really, it was at the heart of the SP's big sweep in 2012. One last question, Raja, before we go. In terms of the Congress and its alliance with SP, Do you think the Congress is just sort of holding on to the coattails to, and it seems to have got more than it ideally could have?
That certainly is the refrain here. Yeah, did they deserve 100 seats? And
They had 28 last time.
Yes.
They won 28 last
yeah,
time.
and the fact that they couldn't even gather 100 candidates to put up. I mean, we have a case of Anand Badoria from Lucknow East, who was loaned from SP, and the talk is that there were more people who were loaned.
Right.
So in 2014, they were down to just 2 seats, and that too Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi in Raebareli and Amethi, which were given.
Right. On that note, we'll have to leave it there. Raja Bose, thank you so much for joining us from from the Ambedkar Park in Lucknow. We'll be here this whole week, and we'll be broadcasting to you from across UP as this fascinating electoral contest unfolds. Thanks so much for watching.